Good morning. This is Asake Online. Thank you for joining us last week. I invite you to join us in our episode on farming matters, where we'll be speaking to farmers about the importance of nutrition for livestock, where they'll be detailing how can farmers make their own feed on farm. In this case, how to actually make feed on livestock silage. What makes good hay? Because I wonder, with any grass by the roadside, I can just cut.
You can cut as long as there's no foreign matter, plastics. You don't want this foreign matter because it's not digestible for the animals. Good hay is just dry hay.
Is there any particular type of grass?
Well, the advantages of the difference between these hays is now the yield when it comes to when you grow them deliberately. We establish pastures, we plant pastures like Katambora rose grass, panicum. You know, those ones will give you more volume and they are more palatable than our thatching grass. We have that hyperenia, the thatching grass. It's not easily consumed by the cows. You know, if you go out in the paddocks, you will see that thatching grass is still standing because they like to eat the lower hanging leaves of the plants, not the actual hyperenia stalks, because you know they're too thick. Now you can't chew into those ones. The ammonified hay is basically just that dry hay from that we're baling from the bush. We bring it in and then we add what is lacking in that hay, which is mostly the protein side. The animals need protein to fully function. So we want to add protein to that hay. This is what we have done. This is the ammonified stuff. This is ammonified hay. You see, and they're enjoying it. Yes.
You've actually made it here.
Yes, this is homemade. We have not bought this also.
And how do you now, is there a feeding period now that you're going to be feeding them? Yes,
Yeah,
you're saying these are for sale.
Yeah, we're just going to make them look presentable. Because you know, the buyers, they don't want to buy something with bones. We want it to show its true potential. This is why we are feeding them in preparation for the sale, so that when a buyer comes in, they want to select a bull, they can see its full potential. No, this is going to be a good bull. This is going to be a good bull. This is going to be good.
Yeah, from a novice, how do you judge? No, this is
a good bull.
Good bull. Is it weight? Is it?
You look at his length from head to tail. You can see the length. You look at the top line. Is it flat? Is it bending? You look at the size of the testicles. You look at the structure of the legs. You look at the depth from top of the shoulder to the bottom of the shoulder. That's the depth. You look at all that. You look at the hind quarter. You look at the chest. There's so many things that you look into. See, they are enjoying this ammonified hay.
And also the ammonified hay. What are the
There's something with
Sorry?
Yeah. All the cattle here.
Yeah. They are almost the same age.
Okay.
The older ones are those two. These two Brahman types, the Simbras.
Okay.
These are Simbras, cross Brahman Simmental.
Okay.
Those two. And then this cow and this one, they are born 2021. They are the mothers to those calves there. And then 2021. Same year, Lama cows like this cow. This bull is the 2021 bull.
And as show cattle, are these already going to be available for sale?
Not these ones, but we have females and bulls available for sale, like those bulls that you saw on that end, and some females also. We'll have some for the sale. So this is just particularly for the sale. After the sale, we stop feeding them like this. They go out and start fending for them.
Right. Now, what is the difference when you feed them actually for the show unlike the other feeding that is there.
This is more like a fattening program, pen fattening program, which is different from a survival or a maintenance program. Because when we are doing maintenance, we are just giving them a certain amount of feed a day. But when we are doing fattening, we give them ad lib. We don't measure, we just pour it in, and it must always be there. So it must eat whenever it feels like it wants to eat. That's the difference.
So the purpose there is
And we're giving them a high energy diet.
to gain weight.
To gain weight and to look presentable like this. It's mostly a weight thingy, a weight game. Weight, milk production, fertility. These guys are fertile. Like I'm saying, she's a 2021 cow. She's already got a cow-fed foot. You see, these are 2020. These two, they are born 2020. They are pregnant for the second time. They are almost about to calve. We've weaned their calves successfully. They are there, and now they are pregnant again. They'll be calving anytime soon. So fertility-wise, these guys will do the job. And weight, they will still give you the weight. He's less than 2 years old now, but he's already above 700 kgs. That people want in their feedlots, because they'll give you the weights that make your money at the end of the day.
Would you also say this breed is in a way, or let's say drought tolerant, or it's actually useful when
it's well adapted? Yes, I wouldn't say drought tolerant, but it's well adapted to our harsh conditions. For your own information, the first head of Simmental that came to Africa in 1895 are in Namibia. They landed in Namibia in the desert, and they've adapted well there. Check the Namibian the Namibian beef industry. Simmental is well adapted. Check the South African side, it's well adapted. In Zimbabwe, they are surviving in Matabeleland South, here in Escotini. This is the harshest of the conditions that you can find in Zimbabwe. I believe it's natural region 5. So if they can survive in natural region 5, they should do better elsewhere.
So then we also, as you say, it's ideal for pen feeding as well.
Yeah, these are very highly sought after cattle because they are heavy. In pen fattening, the game is all about weights. You want heavy animals in the feedlot because you want to make the cages. The cages are the ones that give you your money. If you bring in a light animal, it will not give you as much money as a heavier animal. Yes, and these guys will convert feed better than any of our indigenous breeds. Yes. Minimum 3,500. A bull is half your head. Minimum 1.5.
How many months is this?
4. What we advise and encourage farmers is, after you've cut this, after you've dug out what you want for your daily requirements, cover the pit and seal it off. But what I know is that it will not rot. Between now and tomorrow morning, when they come back to dig more for tomorrow, this will still be like this.
Is this largely only for cattle, or you could feed
sheep, goats, you can feed. As long as they are all ruminants, you can feed them. This is mostly for ruminants, because ruminants are the ones that are able to digest such kind of proteins like urea-based proteins. As humans, we would probably die on the spot. This is where it gets exciting. Right. We grow our maize in the field. And step number one is to establish a crop. And we've established a crop, be it maize, be it sorghum, be it oats, leb, lucerne, whatever you want to establish. You establish that. It gets to full maturity. It has matured. and it now has a moisture content of around 60 to 70%. Now it means it's ready to harvest. And we chop it mechanically, manually. You know, there's so many methods that we can use to chop. I'll show you the machine that we use here, but you can, if you don't have a machine, you can use a machetes to chop. You can just buy those small Chinese grinders, just do it depending on your capacity. Also, once we have chopped it in the fields, we bring it to this pit. You remember I was talking about how to determine our pit size. Yes. So after we've done all that, during establishment of our crop, we must be working on digging our pits. We can hire an excavator, we can hire some guys to come and dig it out, whichever. Once that's done, we are chopping our maize. It's coming in. Let's assume we've grown maize. It's coming in. Keep putting in. So we are now filling our pit. Green maize, yes. At maturity stage with around 60 to 70% moisture. We are now filling our pit. So during filling of our pit, we are filling and compacting. Filling and compacting. And adding the additives that we want to add. Be it those what you call premixes that are sold in town with our phosphorus, you know, the elements, those. So we're adding, if you want to add molasses, we are adding as we fill. We are adding all that as we go. We're adding as we go, up until we reach the top.
What are you adding these other additives you talk about?
Phosphorus, you know, those micro elements, yes,
like
that they are required by the body for vitamins and whatnot. So that is what we are adding, isn't it? After that, we have already made a complete feed. It's already complete. We're compacting during our filling. Compacting. We reach the top, our maize is finished, everything is done. We are satisfied with what we have done. We have compacted for the last time. And then now we add our plastic. And then we take our soil, we add our soil on top. And then we put more weight. Because what we want to do is just keep putting weight on top to increase. In case there's those pockets that were left out during compaction, those pockets will be, that air will be pushed out by this soil and these tires. These are just putting more weight. If you come back after a few weeks, you will see that there's more compaction still taking place. Yes.
Now, what's the difference now between this type of feed that we have created here and the one that you've made?
Okay. The difference now is that there we were using dry residue, dry crop residue, be it grass, be it maize stalks, be it wheat straws, isn't it? All that we can use to do the ammonification side. And then here we are working with green crops, green stuff, 60 to 70% moisture. You remember? Yes. We are working with green stuff, wet stuff. There, remember, we are adding the moisture to a dry stuff. We are diluting our urea and our water, and then we are adding it to the dry stuff. But here we are not adding any urea. Here we are just going, if you want to add mabiko now, that is bonus. But here we are making a complete feed as it is.
So is there a variation in terms of the nutritional value of the two?
The nutrition comes out almost the same. Yes.
What then is an advantage for the farmer to actually do go with the grass or go with the green?
Well, you can go with both. It's a big advantage if you go with both, because during the green season, the rainy season, you can grow your maize, isn't it?
Right.
You can grow your crops and take advantage of the rain. After that, you can make your silage. And then when we get into the dry period, we bale and collect the grass out there, and then we can make that, you see.
But it also seems very labor
It's labor intensive. That's
Right, yeah.
true. But it's worth the labor. It's worth the effort at the end of the day. You've got to put in the work. There's nothing that, like on a farm, there is no work that is done by someone sitting down. Everything that is done on the farm requires people to put in an effort and work. Yes. Be it growing the maize, people must get into the field. Be it harvesting the maize, people must get into the field. Yes. So there is always some work to be done.
Interesting, Richard. You are a young person.
Yes.
What has been the motivation for you to actually, go into farming? Given that we note that many young people, farming is not the number one option.
Okay.
Well, can it be?
Yes, it should be. It should be. Not can it be? Because me having been born on the farm and having grown up on a farm all my life, I went to school and I studied agriculture. That is the only thing I've known all my life. And I've lived a life that is fulfilling. I cannot complain about the life that I've lived. My old men and in fact, my parents have been able to provide that kind of life through farming. So I guess, why should I be a pioneer in my own path when there is already a path that has been pioneered by, and it's working? So for me, this is where this is all I know, and this is what I've learned to appreciate. Everything that happens here, there's nothing that I don't know that has anything to do with livestock, especially in this kind of setup. So my inspiration has always been my dad. He has been a farmer for a very, very long time, and he's one of the most experienced guys that I know around the region. So he has been that pillar in my life. He has pushed me. He has been my torch.
Climate change
Okay.
is having an impact really on agriculture.
Yes.
Here in your farm, would you say that you have seen this impact, and what have you done, if so, to actually cope with it? As a farmer, because I see you prepare your own feed and you also raise crops.
Yes. What we have done, climate change has changed a lot. Our rainfall that we usually used to get has changed in a big way. It's no longer consistent. It's no longer as much as we expect. It is reduced, or sometimes it's too spaced. It might come, but it's too spaced. So what we have done is we have invested into irrigation infrastructure, but it's still not enough. We still need to keep investing into it so that we at least are able to scale up our production. But for now, we are investing into irrigation infrastructure. We are investing into mechanization, because with this kind of pattern, rainfall pattern, we've got to be timeous in our operations or in the field. So when it comes to harvesting of silage, you don't want it to dry out when you don't have equipment to harvest it. So we are investing a lot into irrigation infrastructure so that we are able to grow our own crops without having to wait for the rains to come. Number two, we are investing also into our mechanization side. Tractors, silage choppers, planters, that kind of equipment is something that gets a farm to run smoothly. Without all that equipment, a farm is almost stagnant.
And do you see any opportunity yet to actually innovate, your operations?
Yes.
Given the challenge, say, of climate change.
Yes, we must start to look into the issue of innovation. Technology is coming. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. So we must start looking into those sectors, technological sectors. We must start looking into buying highly advanced equipment for our operations that improve efficiency. That there is no other way. We can't run away from that one. It's coming and it's here to stay, and we must embrace it, all of us. We are covered nutritionally. We are covered until the end of the season. Yes, we'll start to think about destocking maybe next year if it doesn't rain again. If we get another El Nino, then we might be talking about destocking. But for now, we are prepared for this entire season.
So in a way, farmers could actually solve the issue of feed. Really, there's never a need for them to destock.
They can solve it through the issue of preparedness. They should prepare well in advance. We know, us as Biano, we know that every year there is a winter. Every single year there is a winter. And so for us to be able to go through those winters, we prepare a year before. We prepare, we grow our crops, we grow a lot of silage stuff, fodder, in preparation for the following year. Like I mentioned, that this ammonification, this one, we did it last year in August, September, in preparation for this year. We only opened this year to start feeding. Yes. And if it so happens that it runs out, we are bailing. We will bring in more bales and we will do it again. And in preparation for the following season. So we are always preparing for the following year.
So
we don't want to start preparing today for tomorrow. No, we prepare yesterday for tomorrow.
So the code of a farmer is to be prepared.
It's preparedness. You must be prepared. If you don't prepare, you find yourself spending money in town. You spend a lot of it in town.
Great. Also, because you keep livestock and you do off takes of your livestock for our breeders and to want to breed. Is there any future opportunity that you do value addition?
We are looking into possibly the route of pen fattening in the near future, but only after we have fully utilized our lands in terms of nutritional requirements, because we are trying to clear out some more land so that we grow more crops. We want to avoid the issue of having to buy feed to sustain that pen fattening operation. It's an operation that we are going to be doing, but we are going to be doing it through our own feed production.
So, in a way, we have never bought any feed.
We have bought feed. We have.
Or when did you last buy feed?
It's been a long time. Okay. We have bought feed before we got into all this, but now that we are into this,
did you making a comparison? That's when you bought feed and when you made your own. What kind of savings did you actually realize?
Like I had mentioned before, that it's this nutrition side of the business. It will probably take up about 80% of our costs. Yes, so if we are to make your own feed, you are probably now cutting that down by around 45 to 50%. Yes. Because remember, when you're making your own feed, you're also going through some kind of costs that you're going through. Yes.
I want to believe that you are making the silage for your own livestock.
Yes.
But is there opportunity that you would even sell?
No.
Make for sale, or is only for your own?
Selling, we are not yet there. We are not yet selling. Maybe in the future, but not now. I can't rule it out, the possibility. We might decide maybe let's grow some maize and sell silage to other people, but for now we are still trying to satisfy our needs. We are not yet there. Our needs are not yet satisfied, but very soon will be satisfied.
What about the issue of diseases, for livestock? How are you dealing with that?
Yeah, the diseases side is mostly a management issue. Okay. Yes, we do have some diseases coming in, the normal ones, heart water, gall sickness, JD, of course, we haven't got it yet here. FMD is a national thing. That is dealt with by the vet. Even the JD is also dealt with by the vet. But so far, so good. In this area, we haven't had any issues. We just try to manage our cattle dipping. We aggressively dip them, routinely dip them on a weekly basis. We do our vaccinations on time, our dosing on time. So mostly the management side of it is I think it's up to scratch.
Yeah, so you do it here within farm because,
Yes,
like
we
I'm
do
saying,
it. We
so
do
your
it.
cattle are actually restricted. You don't allow any other. You know,
No,
you don't mix your cattle don't forage out.
Yeah, we've fenced off the entire property, so there's no cattle coming in. There's no cattle going out. They are all within the premise. They're not mixing with other heads. So I think on the health side of things and the biosecurity side, we are up to scratch. Security personnel to patrol around the premises, even at night they are around. We've employed, our gates are almost locked. Every night we lock them, every morning we unlock, so that we don't have any unnecessary traffic coming in and going out. And our fences are well maintained. We have guys, patrolling those boundaries and on a daily basis. So the security side of things, I think for now we are okay. This is our silage chopper, silage harvester. It's tractor driven, so you mount it to the tractor right there. It's powered by the PTO and some hydraulics to turn this pipe there. So this is a single row cutter. What it simply does, you just drive it along the row. So your maize comes in through this, and then there's these two knives there. They will cut the stalk at the bottom, and then they pull in that stalk. Once it's cut, it falls onto this table. Then it's pulled in by these two rollers. These rollers will be rotating inwards like this, and so they bite that thing and push it in. This is the actual sky. This is the mill. This one, this portion. So it's being turned by that PTO. So once it's chopped, it's going to be chopped and blown out. Chopped and blown out into the trail. This pipe will be upright. To be upright. So it's blowing out into the trailer. Your trailer is hooked onto this part. So you're drawing a trailer and you're chopping at the same time. This thing will do a hectare in less than an hour. This thing.
And then what you already chopped
straight into the pit. There's nothing else to do to it. Chopped into around 2 centimeter bits.
Yes. Chop your maize, oats.
This with oats now is difficult because oats are not a raw crop. This is mostly for raw crops. Yeah. For oats now, maybe you need to chop them and pile them and then feed them manually, which will still work. On the farms we like to, sometimes we just have to do whatever it takes to make the work happen. Yeah, so that's basically, this is the chopper. And then we've got the fertilizer spreader. This fertilizer spreader is also what we use to plant the oats. So we broadcast the oats
and so also do you broadcast the fertilizer?
Yeah, we broadcast everything. When we're doing oats, we broadcast fertilizer and the seed. So this is what we use to plant.
Out of interest, is that cost effective? Why broadcast instead of
rowing?
Yeah. What's the advantage?
The oats are not raw crops. Oats, wheat, barley, they are not raw crops. They just need to be broadcasted.
No, I meant for fertilizer.
For density wise, huh?
I meant fertilizer.
Fertilizer, we still just broadcast. The same place where we're broadcasting the seed is where the fertilizer must go.